Alright, it's about 2 a.m. Let's talk about some things. There are a few things I want to talk about. A few words I would like to help define for those who might not understand. Furlough. What's a furlough? So the furlough, or a furlough, is when the government, is when the government claims that they do not have enough money to continue going at full capacity with running all of the agencies, paying all the agencies, paying all the employees they have. And it's not that they just don't have the money, it's that, they cannot agree on a budget. Alright, I'm going to try and keep my definitions unbiased. I'm going to try and stick to real definitions, so I'm not going to point blame at any party, at any politician. I'm not going to do that. But when politicians come together and they cannot agree on stuff, and budgets don't get passed, and money does not get allocated, the government shuts down and goes on a furlough. Or I should say the government shuts down and a lot of employees are furloughed. So the furloughing of governmental employees is when they do not have to go to work, but they will not get paid. And that makes sense. If A, then B. If no work, then no pay. And that makes some sense. However, a lot of governmental employees are considered not only essential, but their work and their mission, and this is usually, let's say, the Department of Defense, the military, they are considered important and they must continue working. Now, I'm a federal technician for... almost missed my turn there. I'm a federal technician. I work physically in the state of PA, so Pennsylvania has its own missions going on the military side of things via the National Guard, and all of that is still important enough, and we must still work. But if there's no money, no agreed amount of money for them to pay us, it just means we're going to work without pay, and then down the line, when the government, when the politicians, when Congress says, hey guys, look, we've agreed, here's our budget, here's what we're passing, here's how much money the military and other agencies will be allotted, then we will receive our back pay. So it is interesting, because up front it sounds kind of a little like, it doesn't sound so good. Hey, they're making us work for free? This is not an option. We don't have an option not go to work. I could choose to not go to work, but then I lose my job. It's as if regularly scheduled hours. It's regularly scheduled work, just with no pay. Furlough, well, again, that's furlough exempt. Furlough is, let's say, another agency is just deemed not completely necessary, so their employees stay home, they don't work, they don't get paid, just like that. The government reopens up, and they start going to work, and they get paid for the time they were at work, not the time they weren't at work. We tracking? So, of course, here's my question for you guys. If we are deeming certain agencies within the government unimportant, so unimportant that they can shut down entirely, and they're just not important, is this really an agency we need to have open during the regular year? Is this really a good, valuable use of money? If we can shut it down and say, guys, we don't actually need this opened at all. Just something to think about, really. I think. What do you think?